What's going on, gym owners? I wanted to share with you something today, which is kind of interesting because from this perspective, I have the lucky position of working with dozens and dozens of gyms to help them scale their businesses, right? And it's really cool. And so I was having a conversation this week with two gym owners right now, both where their campaigns on our side are absolutely crushing it, which is amazing. However, one of them is struggling to convert, meaning turn leads into sales and into money. And the other one is absolutely obliterating, and he has one of the best records so far, which is wild. So here is the 4-step process that every campaign needs to happen in order for you to turn interest into money. 4 steps. And at each step I'm going to talk about the bottlenecks, the approaches, the mindset, so that you can crush it at each one of these 4 steps. You need leads because you need people who are interested in getting fit. So that's our job. That's what we help with. Number 2, you need to have conversations with these leads. You need to chat, you need to call, you need to get in touch with, you need to book them in. You need to turn that conversation, book the appointment, close. So I'm going to talk about those main 3 points that you need to take care of. Okay, a conversation on the phone, what does it actually look like, and how can you turn that conversation into a booked appointment? So give them a call. You go, hey, how's it going? Brandon here. Is this John? Hey, John. Brandon here from ABC Fitness. How are you today? I'm good. Great. So here's the thing you want to think about is a couple different things. You definitely want to understand 3 things. And I call this, you could consider this like a mini SPIN sales consultation on the phone. So SPIN is an acronym, which is great, for situation, pain, implication, needs, payoff. Okay, SPIN. You can do a mini discovery on the phone. So a couple things you want to learn is, what is their current situation? What have they done? What is the pain? Meaning, what is the struggle? What is the challenge holding them back from their goal? And then 3 is like, what's the implication? So you're like, okay, so if you don't do anything about this, what's going to happen? If you did do something about this and achieve your goal, how is it going to feel? Because one of the biggest differences in business, if you're selling an e-com product versus, or a product-based business versus a service-based business, is all about experience. So it's how you communicate, it's when you communicate, it's what you communicate, it's how frequent you communicate. So it's definitely making them feel things is part of the experience. And you got to remember, the goal of each step is to sell and move on to the next step. So the goal of an ad is to get a lead. The goal of a lead is to get them on the phone, to get them in person. You try to close them, okay? Now, what are the 3 steps? The discovery call is to get them in person. We have scripts, we have samples, but here's kind of a basic one. Ask them about what's going on now. Ask them what they want to achieve. Then after that, when you're trying to book them in, you say, okay, great. Well, look, we'll do a bit of an assessment. We'll see where you're at. And based on that, we'll be able to recommend programs and kind of walk you through things. Now, a big part of this is also making them feel heard and understood, and also positioning the appointment as really the next step in the conversation, right? So you could ask questions about their challenges, what they like, what they don't like, what do they think is holding them back. And once you do all this, it's going to absolutely move on to the next stage, which is booked appointments. Now, you need to have this routine down well, because the more you do something, the easier it's going to get, the better you're going to get. And if you can better predict how the conversation is going to go, you're going to be better practiced. Most of the time, you want to think about, this is like the 100th time I'm going to have this, and this is the first time they're going to have this. So you need to understand where the conversation can go, what to say, when to say it, and have your lines readily prepared. And imagine, this is showtime. You got to practice. You got to practice your sales. You got to practice the words. Imagine you have a play that you're a part of and you're the main character, but you didn't practice your script. So this is something you need to practice in order to get better. Yeah, you're like, okay, what are the main objections? Time, partner, I need to think about it. Okay, you got to practice these. So, oh, you know what, Brandon, program sounds great, but I'm going to need to think about it. Okay, no, totally understand. I get it. It's a big decision. You want to take time to think about it. Well, let me ask you this. Outside of thinking about it, is there anything else that I mentioned that doesn't make sense about the program? Okay. And outside of thinking about it, is there anything else that's stopping you from moving forward? You know, we'll just say that you need to think about it. Okay. What else do you need to think? Let's see if we could help you with that. Is there anything specific you need to think about the program? And it's probably going to be about the money. Well, it's about the money. Okay. Well, before we get into that, let me ask you this. Do you believe if you joined that you would get the results that you wanted? Well, yeah. Okay. And you're pretty confident of that. Yeah. Okay. And then you got to drill it down. And I'd say, okay, in terms of the program, what do you feel like is holding you back from joining? Oh, it's the money. Okay. What do you mean by that? You know what? It's expensive. Okay. What do you mean by that? Is it the amount? Is it more than you thought? Yeah, it's more than I thought. Okay. Well, what did you think about? Like, what's your budget? What would you say? $100 is your budget. Got it. Well, to be honest with you, John, we don't have anything for $100. And let me just go back, and then you gotta like be ready for this. You gotta be ready for the I need to think about it. It's the monies, the partners, things like that. And one thing I will say is one of the objection handling techniques I've learned is like you go, okay, well, let's put that to the side, and then you confront everything else and kind of like double down on stuff, and you reintroduce things, and you build confidence in things, and then you come back to it. So it could be like, oh, I need to, it's the money, expensive. It's a bit expensive. Look, man, I totally understand, totally get it. Let me ask this though. Besides the price, are you confident that the program, you can get the results? Do you feel like there's anything else that could be better about the program that you would like that that we didn't mention? Oh, well, and then you can address some things over here while you said, okay, hold on. And you go, okay, let me ask you this. If you were to lose 30 pounds in 6 months and you had to pay $1,200 for that across 6 months because it's like $200, do you think that would be worth it? Seems expensive. Okay, well, we could break this down. And here's one thing, because you did mention you had a gym membership. How long? For 5 years, and you didn't go? Okay. And where was it at? 24 Hour Fitness. Okay. So let's break that down. So $40 times 12 is like $500. $500 times 5, because you had a gym membership for 5 years, is $2,500. And you had a gym membership for 5 years and you still weren't able to lose weight. And that was 5 years. And if we could get you to lose that same weight in 6 months, you'd be paying half the amount of money you paid 24 Hour Fitness, and you'd get the results in not even half the time, in like 20% of the time. It's like a fifth of the time, if that's right. So you're spending half the amount of money, you're getting the results in only 6 months, you had a gym membership for 5 years, and you're actually going to make it in. I mean, that seems like a crazy deal to me. What do you think about that? Well, and look, I get it. It's your fitness. It is an investment into yourself. And you did spend $2,500 on a gym membership and you never went. So you want to think about I don't know if I'm hearing that it's about the money. I think it's about the value. So what I mean by that is, let's put the money aside right now. And let's just imagine 6 months from now, you were 30 pounds down. You were probably around 4 like dress sizes down. You're feeling better. You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're thinking, holy shit, I did it. I transformed myself. And it's because of these guys here like John and Fourth Core Fitness, and I can't believe I did it. In that moment, when you're thinking about that, you're seeing that, you're feeling that. How do you think that would feel? That'd feel amazing? What else? Yeah, I'd be really proud of myself. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. And I'd be proud of you too. And you got to think, man, that was only $50 a week. And I spent $50 a month for 5 years and didn't get half the results. And I think about it like this. Whether you do this later, this is something that's always going to be in the back of your mind. And starting is never going to be a good time to start. What I notice with most people is they just make it happen. They move their world around because they're ready to start and ready to start making serious progress. And whether you're ready or not, it doesn't really matter. We know that you believe in the program, and we know that these are the results you want. We know that it's going to help you feel good. Okay, what's really holding you back from starting then, Samantha? It's the commitment. What do you mean? Locked in for a 12-month contract? Okay. Well, what I guess here's how I see it, and like we can kind of work on this. We do a 12-month commitment because we know, like your specific situation, that most people will join things and not commit. And I'm not saying that's you, but what I'm saying is, in my experience, I see a lot of people join things, stop, and they complain about like they're not seeing the results, right? It's not easy to follow through, but one of the most important things you want to think about is like, if I want to see myself be healthy, lose weight, feel good for the long term, I need to go all in, man. I can't quit. I got to do this. So that's why we do a minimum of 12 months for our fat loss program. Because anything less is not going to give you what you deserve. It's not going to give you what you need. It's not going to get you the results. And I guarantee, and this is the thing, I could say this with confidence. I guarantee you're going to hit your goal in 12 months easily. So with that said, are you ready to do this? Bang. So obviously I'm a bit wordy, I'm a bit rusty, but one of the most important things is you got to be practiced. You got to know what they're going to say, what the questions you ask. You got to ask the same questions, have the same routine, because in the end, you're going to be able to close these deals. So those are the main 4 steps: leads, calls, booked appointments, shows. Your part is going to be calls, booked shows. I'm going to talk about more about how to address each of these bottlenecks in the next video. If you like this, let me know. I'm going to make more. Peace.